SANY0022.
TO4 Johnson.
TO4 Gordon.
Today we are going to talk about the greenhouse effect. It's a natural phenomenon. Since all of us are majoring in chemistry, we do not consider the topics which are too biological, such as GM food, cloning, and cell culture. And after excluding this topic, we thought about the drug discovery, but whereas we do not familiar with the topic, and it may be too boring. And then we consider the two remaining topics, energy saving and environmental protection. And one groupmate suggested energy saving is good and easy topic, thus we can handle it well. Because this topic is not too biological and some of the points are related to chemistry. However, but one of another groupmate thought that it is too common and and no special ideas can be expressed. Finally, we chose the environmental protection as our topic. However, the topic was changed to climate change because environmental protection is too bordering and difficult to talk about the special part of this topic. Unfortunately, we found another problem which climate change is same as the example used in the EN official notes. So we chose we used the greenhouse effect instead of the climate change. Besides, greenhouse effect have been discussed a few years, and there are many journal articles published by scientists. We have been asked to state a new argumentation before we start to do it. As one of our groupmates told us a new point which is watched from the science program, and we thought that it is quite interesting. When we found the article, we read the abstract to consider the article is suitable for us, and sometimes the abstract is suitable, but we could not approach the whole text. Sometimes we could find the whole text, but we could not. The content is not suitable. We tried to find the article from the Science magazine, but but this type of article is too short and it did not provide enough information. And at the end, we are suggested to find an article from the library e-resources.
In this part, I would like to give an overview of the article. Many scientists state that the increasing the concentration of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will increase the greenhouse effect and cause the temperature to rise. However, in the article, the authors try to study the relation of the carbon dioxide and greenhouse effect, and show that the climate will be cooled because of the increasing concentration of the carbon dioxide. To support their idea, they use a computational method to study the temperature distribution in two planets, the Earth and the Venus. And they focus their research on the region of the Earth troposphere and sea troposphere, and the Venus troposphere because of the limitation of the adiabatic theory they use. In addition, the authors mention that many scientists just consider the absorption of the heat capacity of the greenhouse gases, but they ignored the pressure or the other factor of the gases. And so they conclude that the human cannot control the greenhouse effect occurring. The adiabatic model is shown in this equation, and it contains a series of the available and constant and was used for measuring the temperature distribution in the planets. The authors substitute the present data parameters of the Earth into the equation and then plot a temperature distribution and following, and they compare with the standard one. And the result showing the equation is valid. Furthermore, the equation was proved by the temperature distribution of the greenness with the same method, and the positive result is shown. And I would like to pass the time to Gordon.
Okay. Now, according to the equation, you can see that carbon dioxide and methane were created separately, and in the complete carbon dioxide, the temperature of the troposphere is always meanwhile, and the complete methane was dropped. And according to the research, the result can support the obvious belief. But however, there have one important factor that the research ignored, is that greenhouse gas are released from the human activities, but the research ignored this point. And the author states that the carbon dioxide does not reach to the troposphere and the stratosphere based on Henry's law. And in fact, this factor is ignored from the computation of the research. It's true that the greenhouse gas of carbon dioxide and methane, but the sign effect always ignored from the other research in the real situation. So it would be better to include some experimental data in the research instead of the computer-mental method. And moreover, the research should not be, and the data should not be too old, because it may not reflect from the present situation. So there are more other additional information that we give you. And CO2, the carbon dioxide was affected by the temperature instead of reverse, and its goal was to enhance the persuasion of the article by the other verb. And the temperature distribution of the troposphere and the stratosphere of the Earth can be obtained from the model, and you can see that the temperature is keep cooling down. So to the further research, the scientists should spend more time on the other spheres. So the research for the relation of greenhouse effect and the greenhouse gas, we can see more clearly. And the research should include the humans' activity tools, and we can see more the relation between the greenhouse effect and the human activities. And now, let me conclude our presentation. So in conclusion, we think that we should consider more human activities, because there are more relation between human activities and the greenhouse effect. And we should know that climate change is a natural phenomenon, and human activities just increase the greenhouse effect rate of the greenhouse effect. And the scientists should do more experimental data and experiment, including to consider the greenhouse effect released greenhouse gas released by the human. So this is the end of our presentation. Do you have any question?